It's important that we understand why people fail. There's two things that seem to be very common, and I've experienced these as well. And then I see other people doing the same thing all the time. The first is doing the right things every day, consistently, in a solid program, and seeing some results coming in, some basic success. But sort of bumping around along the floor. I mean, not really getting where you want to get. So you don't see the hockey stick. And you could be 2 weeks in, you could be 6 months in, you could be 12 months in. All of those things that you're doing that are right and that are working are going to lead to an output that is the right output that's going to get you where you want to get, where you're going to be successful. But your brain is not going to understand that. Your brain is going to tell you that what you're doing isn't working. And that's because we're hardwired neurologically for short-term success. We want our output to provide an immediate, our input to provide an immediate output of success. So if we're going to put all this time and effort and energy into something, we want to see that it's going to work. And there's this short-term mentality that's gotten even worse. It's sort of neurologically programmed, but now it's really worse because people think, okay, I'll give that salesperson 3 months to do something which is going to take 12 months. So if you're doing all the right actions and activities, it could take 5 years to build a multi-million-dollar business. And those things that you're doing and the groundwork that you're building will start to pay off later. And at a certain point, there's going to be exponential growth. Now, that's if you're doing the right things. Now, the other problem is you're doing the wrong things. So when you're doing the wrong things, what you're doing in that case is, in a lot of situations, I see people being incredibly efficient. So they're doing the wrong things really well, but they never get to that exponential growth because they're putting all these inputs in, all day long that don't get you the right output and result. Content marketing is a great example of that, of someone who is not building relationships. They're not building networks. They're not building influencer connections. They're going to make an impact for them. Instead, they're doing a good job putting out a lot of content, but they're missing 50% of it. So even if the content's great, not much is going to happen. I mean, they may see a few things and, sort of a little bump up in improvement, but at some point they're going to stop doing this because they're going to think it doesn't work. I'd say the same with selling. So if somebody's out there networking all the time and selling all the time, they're not going to get enough scale. They're not going to get enough consistency. They're going to get busy and they're going to stop networking. And then they're going to think, oh, that's not working. And then they're going to look for another option. There's a lot of different programs. There's a lot of different activity systems, daily activity systems that lead to the right answer. It's not necessarily just social engagement and content marketing. There's lots of different combinations of this, but the idea is to understand what you really need to do every day. You got to understand the problem you're trying to solve for. You got to understand the pathway you need to take to be successful. And then the barriers, the resistance you're going to have internally, as well as the challenges externally, they're going to stop you from succeeding. If you understand all that and you have the right action plan or going the right direction and can handle delayed gratification and can see these inputs are working, but I haven't gotten a result yet, and they're the right inputs, you're going to hit that hockey stick. And there's some predictability around it because you can look at other people and say, consider yourself, a guy like Sam, where it was like in 5 years, he's at this multi-million-dollar business doing certain things. You got to figure out what those things are for you, not doing what he said, but using the framework he used for yourself to be successful. And when you start doing that, you're going to really see results in the future in exponential growth. And that's what this is about. So when you get into a mastermind concept one of the things you want to do is identify what's the real problem that you have. What is the daily activities that you need to do to get you to the goal that you have? And how do you stay on track with those activities and overcome the resistance? And it takes a community, it takes accountability partners to get to that.